Good morning. I feel like it may be a little loud. I'll try not to be too close to the mic. I was afraid to, I was going to wear my mask, so that made it really hard. So they just said, well, you don't have to, because I think we have enough distance. And I'm vaccinated, and I'm hopeful that everyone else here is. I'm Byron Huff. For those of you who don't know, I think the majority do. I assumed the role of FFBC president this past February, so this is my second meeting at Hoyt Sherman to host in my new role, and the first with an in-person speaker. The last one, if you were here, was on the screen, which worked pretty well. It's not the same, but it would actually work well, thanks to David Cotton. We're hopeful we can continue the in-person meetings with everything that's going on, and we appreciate everyone wearing your masks and doing your part. My pronouns are he, him, and his. FFBC is an association of gay, bi, and trans men formed in 1996. It's a 501c3. Making your contributions tax deductible. Since formation of FFBC, we've raised over $450,000 for scholarships that are awarded annually to high school seniors who have done significant things to reduce homophobia and educate about LGBTQ issues in their schools and communities. We have awarded $3,000 scholarships regardless of gender identity, sexual orientation, or other protected characteristics. But we awarded $4,500 scholarships this past July, 9 of them, due to the generosity of our donors this past year. If you've not donated this year, I hope you will, and we can continue that. It was amazingly appreciated by our recipients. I actually received a written letter from one of them, and that's unusual for kids these days to actually write a letter and mail it. Everything's text or email. You can make a one-time or recurring donation on website ffbciowa.org, thanks to technology funded by Brad Holland, Joe Rates, and Ascendant Wealth Management. We hope 2022 will allow us to present scholarship recipients with their award during graduation ceremonies, because the real strength of the scholarship program, aside from recognizing and rewarding significant and often courageous acts of the recipients, is the opportunity for FFBC to send a representative to high school graduation ceremonies throughout Iowa in front of an audience that thinks they have never seen a gay person. Not hard to believe, but rural Iowa, they don't believe in masks either. They don't think, what is there something going on? Why would I need that? There are new member forms at the registration table. And I don't think there's none at the dining tables. But if you are not receiving our emails, just fill out the form and put your email on there, and we'll make sure you get added to the list. Maybe we have an old one if you're not getting it. Also check your spam folder, of course. You get 2 emails: the Sign Up Genius meeting announcement 1 week prior to the meeting, and the second is FFBC newsletter that's sent the Monday prior to each meeting from ffbciowa.org. If you've not read the September newsletter emailed on August 30th, it's available on our website. I would encourage you to read the articles that we hope are of interest to you. And I'm trying to write articles, and that's a struggle for me. I've never been really much of a writer, but hopefully it's entertaining. You can designate FFBC as beneficiary for United Way donations. Amazon offers Amazon Smiles, which is easy to do. It doesn't cost you anything. Just search Amazon Smiles and you can default to that and designate who you want to donate to. On our website, you'll find useful resources, links that we are continually adding thanks to Joe Rates. And we also archive monthly newsletters, audio recordings, and even some YouTube videos of our past speakers. Thank you, David Cotton, Nicholas Williams, Wade Peterson, and Joe Rates for all the work there to make us come into the 21st century. Be sure and also follow us on Facebook. If you like it, then you'll see posts, and we are putting them out there. I think Joe is been really good just lately. He's been putting all the scholarship award people and what they've done on, kind of spread them out, but he's been putting them there, and I like them and share them. And if you do the same, it helps everyone see, and our social media presence is important. And also YouTube. Go to YouTube and you like it and follow us, and you'll see when David posts videos. We have kind of discontinued the book exchange because it really wasn't being utilized a lot, but what we are going to do is donate books that we have, and any books that you want to bring in to donate them to the Pride Center. So still encourage you to, Rick Miller is here, and speak to him about that, but we are donating books to them. And I said, well, that's where I'm going to have to go if I'm looking for things to read this winter. At this time, we'd like to give new attendees of FFBC the opportunity to introduce themselves. Anyone? You're welcome to. Any others? Okay, well, if there's someone at your table you don't know, introduce yourself, or you see them in the room and don't know them. That's the great thing about being in person again, is we get these interactions that we missed during our Zoom meetings. I want to just congratulate John Schmacker. He was awarded LGBTQ Legacy Leader Award from DSM Magazine, and he was in the article. So if you go to dsmmagazine.com, you can read about it. And congratulations to him. It's an amazing award. And Jonathan Wilson received that last year? Yeah, not last year. So very worthy and amazing accomplishments to receive that award. Now there's an announcement from Iowa Safe Schools. Mark Turnage.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark Turnage. We have our Spirit Awards at the Iowa Events Center on October 1st at 6. I will say on a personal note, with the school year starting up, we have seen a lot, and it's been a little bit hard to see in here, but we're there doing the work.
Thank you, Mark. Next copy deadline for the newsletter is the second Monday prior to the breakfast meeting. So the deadline would be September 20th. If you have something you'd like to share, send a copy to info@ffbciowa.org. Next board meeting will be Thursday. We've moved them to Thursdays. And so Tuesdays, Thursday, September 9th at 6:30 p.m. We have not determined even a location yet, but we're just kind of doing ad lib, spreading around where board members host them. And now Don Jones will introduce our speaker this morning.
Good morning, everybody. I'd like to introduce Edith Crawford. She is a dedicated volunteer and second-term board member at the Greater Iowa chapter of the Alzheimer's Association based in West Des Moines. She is a widow. She is a mother of 2 and a grandmother of 7 and a great-grandmother to 5. She serves on the chapter's committee for diversity and inclusion. She's also a support group facilitator, community educator, and team leader for the Unity Walkers for the Walk to End Alzheimer's. Edith was a caregiver to her mother, who suffered and passed with Alzheimer's. Her sister was diagnosed with dementia, and now her brother is suffering also with dementia. Edith is a retired Department of Defense employee. She served as a secretary, accounting technician, and auditor, and Edith also served as the EEO Counselor and Mediator, emphasizing alternative dispute resolution for the Department of Defense. Edith has also provided services to the elderly through the following organizations: Homestead Senior Care, Des Moines, Hospice of Central Iowa here in Des Moines, and also the Eastern Nebraska Office of the Aging in Omaha. Now, I would like to introduce Edith to the First Friday Breakfast Club. Welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Usually I get to see a lot of smiles, so if you just kind of blink your eyes, I can tell who's smiling and who's not smiling. Just give me a blink or two. That kind of energizes me and takes the butterflies away. I am Edith Crawford. Again, you heard my bio, I won't go over it. I am with the Greater Iowa chapter of the Alzheimer's Association, West Des Moines, Iowa. I am a career volunteer. I started volunteering as a young girl with my mother, who was a volunteer here in Des Moines, all over Des Moines. As a matter of fact, being in this beautiful, beautiful setting, I remember coming here to the theater as a little girl. So just to be back in this building just really does something for me. I moved back to Des Moines 7 years ago after losing my husband. I traveled a lot and worked at the Air Force bases in Denver, Colorado and Omaha, Nebraska. Upon his passing, I decided I wanted to go home. So I came back to Des Moines. I got busy with the Alzheimer's Association and the Homestead Senior Care. And it's just been going up all the way. So I'm very happy about that. We are located at 1730 28th Street, West Des Moines, Iowa. Okay, I will briefly touch on a range of topics during the 20-minute program, including the impact of Alzheimer's, risk factors, and warning signs, resources, and how you can join the fight against the disease, along with ways we will also hear from experts in short video segments. If I'm stumbling, it's because this is my first time on this one, and I do apologize, but I will get through this. I want you to note that this is not an in-depth program about Alzheimer's disease. If you wish to learn more about the disease on a deeper level, please visit your doctor or visit alz.org/CRF to find a presentation of our Understanding Alzheimer's and Dementia programs in your area. We go throughout the state doing presentations on such as 10 warning signs to look for and other programs. Let's begin by taking a brief look at Alzheimer's and dementia. In this section, we'll touch on changes associated with normal aging versus potential warning signs of Alzheimer's, relationship between Alzheimer's and dementia, and risk factors. You may have heard the term Alzheimer's and dementia used interchangeably. While they are related, they are important distinctions between the two. Now let's watch a video of one of our Alzheimer's Association experts, Dr. Heather Snyder, explaining how Alzheimer's and dementia are related.
Dementia is the umbrella term for an individual's changes in memory, thinking, or reasoning. There are many possible causes of dementia, and Alzheimer's is the most common cause. Other causes of dementia are vascular dementia, which is marked by changes in the blood flow in the blood vessels in the brain. Dementia with Lewy bodies, identified by specific brain changes throughout the brain that include the buildup of a protein known as alpha-synuclein. And frontal temporal dementia, which is marked by brain cell loss in the front sections of the brain or the frontal lobe. Each type of dementia may have distinct characteristics to cause specific behaviors in the individual, but there is also some overlap in behaviors among the types of dementia.
As Dr. Snyder explained, a diagnosis of dementia is incomplete because it is an umbrella term used to describe a person's changes in memory, thinking, and behavior. There are many possible causes of dementia, but 60 to 80% of all dementia cases are caused by Alzheimer's. Usually when I'm doing a presentation, I give the example that, or when I'm talking to someone and they want to know about Alzheimer's, or what's the difference, I use the analogy of cancer. The word cancer is the umbrella, and there's so many different types of cancer that fall up under that umbrella. So the word dementia is our umbrella, and all of the other types, Lewy body, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, fall up under that umbrella. Everyone is at risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. Although we don't know the exact cause of Alzheimer's, there are a few known common factors that increase a person's risk of developing disease. In the final video on this slide, Dr. Snyder will explain the most common risk factors.
Alzheimer's disease is marked by specific brain changes that result in the clinical changes in individual experiences. That is, changes in memory, thinking, or reasoning. And ultimately, Alzheimer's is fatal. The exact cause for these changes is unknown, but there are some hints as to what may contribute to an individual's risk. Age is the greatest known risk factor for Alzheimer's. And when we look at populations of people, we see an increased risk over the age of 65. However, Alzheimer's is not normal aging. Family history is also a known risk factor. Research has shown that those who have a parent or a sibling with Alzheimer's are more likely to develop the disease, and that risk increases if more than one family member has Alzheimer's. When we talk about the genes involved in Alzheimer's, there are two categories that could potentially be involved: risk genes and deterministic genes. Risk genes increases an individual's risk for developing the disease, but does not guarantee that they will develop Alzheimer's. Deterministic genes, which are rare for Alzheimer's, guarantee that the person will develop the disease.
I want to add to that, that my mother, again, had Alzheimer's. She had it during a time when there were no doctors that knew about Alzheimer's. I was a little girl. They had no treatment. They had no facilities. And so upon my sister developing the dementia, I got kind of worried. And then now my brother has dementia. I am the only one in the family that has embraced it. I know that you've heard about stigma. There's quite a great stigma within not only the community, but within families. I'm in a little bit of a battle with my family. As I learn more, I tell them more, but they don't want to hear too much about it. So I just wanted to add that. In addition to the main risk factors for the generational population, Hispanics, African-American, and women are at higher risk for Alzheimer's. Research shows the older Hispanics are about 1.5 times as likely as older whites to develop Alzheimer's and other dementias, while older African-Americans are about twice as likely to develop the disease as older whites. Excuse me. The reason for these differences is not well understood, but researchers believe the higher rates of vascular disease in these groups may also put them at greater risk for developing Alzheimer's. Women are more likely than men to develop the disease. An estimated 3.4 million American women are living with the disease today. We know that women live longer than men. That women live longer than men, making them more likely to develop Alzheimer's disease. However, longevity and lower death rates can only partially explain this difference. Researchers are exploring how genetic differences between men and women may impact disease risk. Let's take a moment to test what you've learned about Alzheimer's. You may have heard the term Alzheimer's and dementia used Alzheimer's is a normal part of aging. Raise your hand if you think this is true. You're correct, it's false. Alzheimer's disease is more than memory loss. It is a progressive and fatal disease that kills nerve cells and tissues in the brain, affecting an individual's ability to remember, think, plan, and ultimately function. Let's try another one. What is the greatest known risk factor for Alzheimer's disease? Age, raise your hand for age. Family history, raise your hand. It would be age. After age 65, the risk of developing Alzheimer's doubles every 5 years. 32% of people 85 and older are living with Alzheimer's. The Alzheimer's Association is a leader in this area, developing a list of 10 warning signs to help people understand the difference between normal aging and common signs of possible dementia. This list is intended to be a tool to help identify unusual changes in a person's memory, thinking, or behavior. It's important to note that this list does not constitute a diagnosis of Alzheimer's or dementia. We won't dwell into each sign individually today, but it's important to be aware of them. To learn more, visit alz.org/10signs. Number 1, memory loss that disrupts daily life, such as forgetting recently learned information. Number 2, challenges in planning and solving problems. Some people may have trouble keeping track of monthly bills. Number 3, difficulty completing familiar tasks such as driving to a familiar location or organizing a grocery list. Number 4, confusion with time or place. A person living with dementia may sometimes forget where they are and how they got there. Number 5, trouble understanding visual images and spatial relationships. The person may have problems judging distance and determining color or contrast, causing issues with driving and ultimately causing a lot of falls. Number 6, new problems with words and speaking or writing. They may forget names or call everyday objects by the wrong name. Number 7, misplacing things and losing the ability to retrace the steps. Most people misplace things now and then, but sometimes living with Alzheimer's, you may put the keys in unusual places, even after finding them, have no idea how they got there. I have to tell you a little story real quick. Then I'll go to number 8. My mother, we had decided that her living alone was not gonna work because we went to her home one day to clean and cook for her, and we had unplugged the stove so she wouldn't cook for herself. And there was a foul smell. We couldn't figure out what the foul smell was. And upon us searching through the house, we found a pack of chicken in the closet. She had taken it out to cook, found the stove wouldn't work, and so she thought she put it away, so she put it in the closet. Number 8, decrease or poor judgment, such as when dealing with money. Number 9, withdrawal from work or social activities, even hobbies that used to bring joy. And number 10, changes in mood and personality. A person may become easily upset when out of their comfort zone. Please note that individuals may experience one or more of these signs in varying degrees, and it is not necessary to experience every sign in order to raise concern. If you notice any of these signs in yourself or someone else, it's important to see a doctor. Only a healthcare professional can determine if the diagnosis is Alzheimer's or another dementia. As a reminder, you can find more information at alz.org/10signs, or consider taking our 10 warning signs of Alzheimer's educational program. It's key that we pay attention to what's going on with our own cognitive health and not dismiss any changes that we may experience as normal aging, as well as that of others around us. Any change that's unusual for your level of functioning or that of someone around you is cause for concern. Let's hear from another association expert, Ruth Drew, who will explain the importance of early detection of Alzheimer's.
There are a number of benefits in early detection of Alzheimer's. For one thing, a person is able to have a voice in what happens next. They can make plans. They can live life more on their own terms. They can also make plans for the future, financial plans, care plans. They can let people know what they want, which can be a real gift later on. It also allows time for families to make plans and to make decisions about who can do what and figure out care and those kinds of issues. Also, the treatments that are available for Alzheimer's don't cure Alzheimer's. They don't slow down the disease, but they do help with symptoms. And it seems as though they tend to work better the earlier a person is able to do so. So that can help too. Some people are interested in clinical trials. Clinical trials allow people to have access to treatments that aren't available yet. And for some people, that can be a really important thing to pursue.
Getting information and support is also a critical next step. Let's learn a little about what the Alzheimer's Association offers. The Alzheimer's Association is available wherever and whenever you need reliable information and support. 3 key resources that can connect you to information and support include free 24/7 helpline.
I've had a couple of phone calls that I've been able to make in to the call center. When I've had a couple of quick questions that I wanted to ask. You know, there's been a couple of nights, 2 o'clock in the morning, you have questions, you have anxieties, and I'm just struggling dealing with them, and it's amazing. It was one of the best things I ever did was keeping the call center on my favorites now. Just to know that there's somebody you can call who is aware of what you're going through.
The 24/7 helpline provides access to highly trained and knowledgeable staff who can help with education, decision-making support, crisis assistance, and resource identification. The next resource is alz.org.
When I went to the Alzheimer's Association website, which is alz.org, then I was trying to find out more about what is Alzheimer's, what really is this disease, what is younger onset Alzheimer's, what is dementia, is there a cure, how long has it been, how many people are affected by this, where can I go for resources, where can I go for help, what do I do with this, how can I handle this, is there more people like me out there, is there someone that I can talk to if I need to? And there I found the support line. It's 24 hours a day. And there I found where I can go for workshops, where I can go and read things and postings that people have done, where I can find out what events is happening in the Alzheimer's Association, where I can see how it's affecting people around the globe.
ALZ.org includes sections specifically for people living with the disease, alz.org/I have ALZ, and caregivers, alz.org/caregiver. The third resource is Community Resource Finder.
Since I've been diagnosed with dementia, the one place that I know I can go to for assistance and help and support is to the Alzheimer's Association. There are people there that I know by name that I can contact if I'm having a difficult time, or if I'm struggling to find some resource, that they will provide that to me.
Common Resource Finder, a wealth of community-based resources, including long-term care, community-based services, local association offices and their offerings of programs and support services. Now that we've taken a basic look at Alzheimer's disease and what resources are available, let's talk about how you can take action. One of the first ways you can take action is volunteering. I've been a volunteer since 2014, actually 2015, when I joined the walk team to promote the walk to end Alzheimer's. I created a team called the Unity Walkers, and we walk every year. Last year, we walked around Evelyn K. Davis Park because of the pandemic, and I was able to space everyone apart, and we had a fabulous time just walking around that park. Whether you can spare a few hours a week or make a more significant time commitment, consider volunteering with the Alzheimer's Association. Numerous opportunities are available, including becoming a community educator, like myself, or joining your local walk planning committee. Visit alz.org/volunteer to learn more. We always need more volunteers. Advocacy is another way to be involved. Alzheimer's Association advocate and speak out on behalf of the needs and rights of those facing Alzheimer's disease. Visit alzimpact.org. I was blessed to go to Washington, D.C. in the role of an advocate for seniors, caregivers. And it was an exciting and wonderful experience. It was very powerful. We were able to talk to our legislators. We all went to different legislators and had an ask. And the particular ask we had at that moment was to get the doctors more in tune with what's going on with Alzheimer's. There was a bill, and I don't remember the name of the bill. It was 2017, but it was just an exciting opportunity for me to become an advocate in Washington, D.C. Another role is trial match. Everyone can help advance Alzheimer's research by participating in clinical trials. Get started with Alzheimer's Association Trial Match, a free, easy to use clinical studies matching service. Visit alz.org/trial match. Walking to End Alzheimer's, that's one of my favorites. You can join a team or you can form a team for the Alzheimer's Association Walk to End Alzheimer's and raise critical funds and awareness. Held annually in more than 600 communities nationwide, Walk to End Alzheimer's is the world's largest fundraiser for Alzheimer's care, support, research. Visit alz.org/walk. And then we have the longest day. The longest day is held on June 21st or whatever, with the solstice, summer solstice day, because it is the longest day, and people get real creative in their fundraising. It's they combine together and do fundraising, or they do individual family fundraising, biking across the country, just a lot of different wonderful ideas to fundraise during the longest day. What I am told is that sometimes the longest people don't have their program, if you will, ready. So they may not do it on that particular day, but they will do a longest day fundraiser. Thank you for attending today's presentation. Are there any questions?
I'm noticing more medical research to back up medication.
Medically, I'm not equipped to answer medical questions such as that. I don't have an answer for that, but I would encourage you to call your doctor or alz.org. The 24/7 helpline would also be able to help you with that answer. I do not have an answer for you.
Just a comment. My mother had Alzheimer's. She also runs our with your brother. And so I look forward to it in some way. But I came by, went to several of the workshops that were provided to family members by and encourage anybody that may be facing dealing with a caregiver to go to some of these workshops because it was extremely helpful in anticipating what was going to be happening in the future. And how, and, you know, for one, I realized that my mother, she was a very mild case of Alzheimer's compared to what some of the families were dealing with.
Mhm.
So it's just a really, if that's a situation you're facing, I really encourage you to take advantage of those workshops at Alzheimer's.
Thank you for that. We definitely strive to answer the questions best we can. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just curious how it's kind of organized locally. Is there an Iowa branch of the Alzheimer's Association? Do you work out of a Central Iowa or Des Moines branch?
Yeah.
Or does it all just come through the national?
Iowa definitely has its own branch. We are the Greater Iowa chapter in West Des Moines, and that encompasses quite a wide area. I can't,
We have offices all throughout the state. We have offices in Davenport and Sioux City, Cedar Rapids. So yeah, we're all over the state.
I want to touch on the gentleman that has family members. I too have family members, as I spoke earlier about. Before I say that, is there any more questions? Anybody? Yes.
I understood that a definitive diagnosis of Alzheimer's was not useful until a person died. We could look at their actual brain and make that definitive determination. And that mostly the diagnoses for Alzheimer's was accomplished by testing for other things that we could test for and eliminating those. When they tested negative, well, then you would draw the conclusion, well, this is probably Alzheimer's we're dealing with. I've read recently, however, that there is a blood test that supposedly will be definitive in diagnosing Alzheimer's. Are you aware of any such blood test?
I am not aware of the blood test, but I do want to touch on, and I actually that's my lead in. With my family having Alzheimer's, my mother having Alzheimer's, my sister was diagnosed with dementia, but she passed away before they could determine which one that she actually was experiencing. And now my brother, who is blind, has dementia. Now, for me, working with the association, and I'm not a doctor, but I know him and I know his personality and all. And I felt that he is more cognitively declined, moving into dementia. Now, that's not a medical diagnosis or term, but just an observation. Lastly, I decided to have myself tested, and there was a time where the only definitive way to know if someone had Alzheimer's was by autopsy, but now I've had it's been 5 years. I told myself I would get tested every 5 years because the medical technology and research has progressed to the fact that maybe it's not a total definitive answer to yes, you have Alzheimer's, but the markers and everything will lead towards possibly having the disease or being more susceptible to having the disease. In my case, 5 years ago, when I was tested, I didn't show any signs, but there's no women in one woman here, but I just, usually we don't tell her, oh, hello, God bless you. I wanted to see you. You had to pull your mask down. But being tested, being tested, I want to be tested again now because it was a cognitive testing that I went through, but I'm experiencing, and I was leading to my age, I'll be 73 in January. So with my age, along with all the other markers, my siblings, I want to know. I need to know because I'm actually the matriarch of my family. And so therefore, as I lead my family, I have to be able to lead my family. So I need to know. Now, the rest of my family will not be tested. They don't even want to talk about it. So that's really painful. I don't know if anybody else is going through that because Hello back there. Thank you. Hello. Yeah, it's really, really painful and lonesome because here I am out on a platform speaking to everyone, and I will speak until I can't speak anymore about Alzheimer's and the disease. I can't convince my family to get on board, but they will. So I will be tested again soon. And
I think one thing that impressed me today that I hadn't really thought about is start to think about doing some planning stuff. I think too often we don't think about what's going to happen or making our wishes known to somebody, or figuring out who can take care of us or how long somebody can help us stay in our. I really just haven't thought about that.
that's a good segue to early detection. Early detection is vital. It is not only vital to the person that is suffering the disease, but it's very vital to the family. That person, and I always say that early detection allows the person, the sufferer, to plan their own life, the rest of their life. They have worked their whole life to get to this point, and then they're being robbed of the ability to do a lot of things. But if early detection, during the early detection phase, they can tell you what they want. They can tell you what they don't want, and they can also just help you plan for the future without them. So early detection is crucial.
And I can make one more comment.
Please do.
Hey, from just share my experiences. The medications that are out for Alzheimer's do not cure, they can slow down the progression considerably. And I know that made a big difference with my mother. And so I think it's important to realize not to fear if it maybe get that early detection, so you can get that type of medication early, which slows down the progression of the disease considerably.
Testing has taken away a lot of my anxiety. Again, with it in my family, it is I may very well likely develop one of the dementias, but early detection, I just can't say it enough. It just is so crucial. Yes.
So I'm a financial planning specialist, so I'm curious, with one of your preparation steps, consideration of long-term care insurance?
Actually, I did take out long-term care insurance. Thank you for that. Yeah, I went over a lot of things. I took out long-term care insurance. I also took out more life insurance so that I can just kind of take care of my children and grandchildren when I leave. So yeah, that's a good point.
And I would say many of my fellow members here perhaps a little late in age to enroll and get favorable rates because get older, it becomes more expensive.
Mhm.
People like Ryan, who's young, or others. It's certainly more affordable the younger you are.
Yeah.
And but common challenges is one of the immediate knock-ins that would get you coverage. And so diagnosis of cognitive challenges would immediately provide assistance. And let's face it, memory care units, memory care facilities, very expensive.
Very.
And I've seen some of my clients who would otherwise be financially devastated.
That's great information.
Do well with having thought that.
It's very good information. Very good. Yes, sir. This gentleman, right?
Just a quick comment about long-term care insurance. It's highly recommended. I've got it. That's great. But it's one of the most dangerous kind of insurance that's purchased. Because if you qualify for it, you're not capable of dealing with the insurance company, getting on hold, listening to the right and arguing with the insurance company. Once you file a claim, the insurance company has a fiduciary responsibility to avoid taking claims they can. That's when you start to read fine print.
Yep.
And you've got to learn about the fine print in the insurance policy. That's true of all insurance.
Yeah.
But with
Yeah.
long-term care,
Mhm.
as soon as you qualify for it, you're not really capable of, I think, the insurance company.
Takes away your right.
So you need to inform relatives
friends,
Mhm.
whatever. I've got this insurance, this is the insurance policy, this is where I keep it. When that day comes, then you've got an advocate. That's a pretty good.
Very good. Thank you, sir, for that. Thank you. Anyone else? I want to thank you for your great attention and having me here this morning. It's been a pleasure and an honor to speak to you, and thank you very much. Have a great day.
Is this? Oh, thank you, Edith, for that eye-opening presentation. It's frightening. The statistic, 2/3 of people over 85, that was the number, right? 2/3 over 85 have dementia. I mean, that means the majority of us will have families that will deal with this tragic disease. And it's horrible to imagine that your family member won't recognize who you are. So on a higher note, upcoming speakers. October 1st will be Jeff Rufus Bird, B-Y-R-D. He teaches at University of Northern Iowa, and he's been there for the past 32 years. He created a gay and lesbian studies course in 1991. And he's going to speak about that and his work to promote inclusion at University of Northern Iowa. November 5th will be Steve Carlin, KCCI anchor, who has recently been interviewed in the media about his struggle with mental health. So he'll speak about that. And we're working on December. We have several possibilities, but I don't have anything I can announce yet for December. But thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful weekend. Our meeting is adjourned.